The Open Network, more commonly known as TON, is a blockchain designed for fast, scalable, and efficient transactions. Originally created by Telegram's founders, the Durov brothers, TON faced legal issues with the SEC in 2020. As a result, the Durovs stepped back and the project became open source, now run by the quote, community. Despite Telegram no longer directly controlling TON, the project remains closely linked. Telegram integrates TON into its ecosystem, especially through the Telegram wallet, enabling users to send and receive crypto directly in chats. This connection provides TON with a significant advantage in adoption, obviously leveraging Telegram's massive user base of almost 1 billion people. This makes it easier for projects on TON to gain a ton of traction. Welcome to Whiteboard Crypto, the #1 YouTube channel for crypto education. Here, we break down complex crypto topics using analogies, stories, and examples that make them easy to understand. In this video, I'll explain how the TON network works, what MiniApps do, and some of the problems they create and solve. Now, a key part of TON's ecosystem is something called MiniApps, which are lightweight apps that run within Telegram chats. A really popular one that launched in 2024 was called Hamster Kombat, which we'll go into the details about that a little bit later. But these apps require no extra installations, offering users easy access to blockchain-powered features like micropayments, decentralized games, and other financial tools that require smart contracts. However, while MiniApps have potential, they definitely manipulate otherwise organic social media channels, making communities more about earning rewards than genuine engagement. TON itself is a pretty standard blockchain. At its core is a proof-of-stake consensus mechanism, which allows the network to process transactions quickly and with minimal energy consumption. We actually have a video explaining proof-of-stake in detail, and if you want to learn more about that, the video is linked in the description. Another critical feature is TON's sharding technology. We actually have a whole video about sharding that's linked in the description below as well, but simply put, sharding divides the blockchain into smaller sections, each capable of processing its own set of transactions and separate smart contracts. This theoretically would allow TON to handle millions of transactions per second, or TPS, far surpassing many other blockchains. However, at most, it has processed just over 100,000 transactions per second, which is still a lot because in comparison, Solana processes on average 4,000 to 5,000 transactions a second. By growing or shrinking with user demand, TON ensures that its network remains fast and reliable as the usage changes. Speaking of usage of the TON network is driven largely by the MiniApps built on the network. Let's take a look at one of those. Hamster Kombat, which is one of TON's MiniApps, was a great test of this infrastructure, and it proved that the network can handle massive loads. But Hamster Kombat, and other MiniApps like it, also highlight a recurring issue in the TON ecosystem: the manipulation of organic channels. Organic channels are any form of community network where user engagement happens naturally, without artificial influence. These can be things like social media platforms, discussion forums, games, or even just regular communities where users interact out of genuine interest in the product or the service. Now, watching how a project's community grows can reveal a lot about its authenticity. A steady increase in interest suggests real engagement, that people are actually interested in the product, while sudden spikes might indicate manipulation. To give you an example, here are some common manipulation tactics for organic social media. Number 1, botting. Botting is simply using bots to fake activity, like fake likes, fake comments, or fake followers. Number 2 is paid shills. Paid shills are basically when a company hires influencers or other fake accounts to help hype up a project. Number 3 is astroturfing, and this is essentially creating fake grassroots support, where paid influencers pose as genuine community members. And number 4 is vote or ranking manipulation. This is simply falsifying votes or rankings on certain platforms like search engines or app stores to increase visibility. Now, why are these a problem? When a project manipulates organic channels, it deceives both the users and investors into thinking the project is more successful or engaging than it actually is. This can easily lead to people investing based on false hype, expecting returns from a project that actually lacks real support. Genuine projects that have real usefulness may even get overshadowed. In short, this is a problem because manipulation erodes trust in the ecosystem. While TON itself might not use these tactics, MiniApps on its network often attract users by promising rewards, whether they're right out in the open or they're implied. And TON actually supports these MiniApps to boost engagement. They aim to bring billions of people into the world of Web3. However, many of these apps lack useful ideas or developed projects or clear plans to deliver on the promises that they make. Like I said earlier, the most popular mini-app in 2024 was Hamster Kombat, which is a minigame where users complete tasks for rewards that initially had no real value. Hamster Kombat is a CEO simulator game where players level up their hamster to become a fictional CEO of a fictional crypto exchange. The hope was that the project would eventually release a token with real value, and the more you played, the more tokens you'd earn. However, it's crucial to ask, where is the money that you'd be earning coming from? Projects are just businesses, and how they generate income, or don't, often reveals whether their promises are actually achievable or not. So here's some history. Hamster Kombat launched its basic game on Telegram in March of 2024, which included task-based earning mechanics like tapping a button repeatedly. Now over the summer, it introduced features like a referral system, and daily rewards, and quests like watching YouTube videos or sharing X posts. By August, they actually launched a gaming platform, and in September they airdropped and listed the HMSTR token, obviously on the TON chain, or TON's blockchain. In December of 2024, Hamster Kombat had over 23 million monthly users. But here's the downside. This growth didn't come cheap. The initial airdrop alone was valued at over $35 million. So if you're like me, you're wondering, where did this money come from? The simple answer? The developers of Hamster Kombat monetized user traffic by selling it to advertisers. Players didn't need to invest any money up front to play the game, and if the saying is true, if you're not paying for the product, you are the product. Essentially, Hamster Kombat baited their audience into following and interacting with them on platforms like YouTube and X to boost their numbers. These boosted numbers can now be used as a form of income through posting content and being paid through stuff like the YouTube Partner Program or X's ad revenue sharing program. And even more, possibly even through sponsored paid ads. I mean, 36 million YouTube subscribers and 13 million X followers is a lot of reach. However, when the token launched, many of these users sold their rewards immediately, causing the token's value to drop, which is something that almost always happens with airdrops. They drop. And you can't blame them either. There was no use or purpose to hold the HMSTR token, or the hamster token, long term. To maintain value, projects must provide usefulness for their tokens. In other words, these projects need to give users a reason to hold, to use, and even to continue buying more of them. Bitcoin, for example, has a massive network and claims to be a store of value through programmed inflation, of which it seems to have succeeded in the last decade. Ethereum is another huge network where ETH is used to process programmable smart contracts. Hamster Kombat, however, has taken steps to address this lack of usefulness by listing the token on a bunch of exchanges and launching a DAO, where the hamster token will be used for governance decisions. Is voting on a hamster token as valuable as owning a share of a $2 trillion network that prevents government inflation? That's for you to decide. And this video is about TON anyways. Let's get back to that. Its technical innovations position TON as a reliable platform for decentralized applications, including these MiniApps. And personally, I do love their instant integration with the Telegram app, as well as their super uncomplicated user interface. However, the effectiveness of this network also depends on how it's used. TON is mostly used for its MiniApps, and a lot of these MiniApps have, or will have, a negative reputation. Here at Whiteboard Crypto, we encourage you to question how a project generates revenue and whether its promises align with its business model. And do not be deceived, all tokens are businesses. While TON's infrastructure shows great potential, the actions of MiniApps highlight the importance of transparency and genuine user engagement. As far as we've seen, TON has a strong foundation and a unique integration with Telegram, but it's essential to separate real innovations from manipulative tactics or gimmicks. Wrapping this video up, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope you've learned something. And most of all, I hope to see you in our next video.